Hey, morning everybody. You probably woke up this morning to some pretty striking world news. Osama Bin Laden has been killed by the United States of America. This is all over Twitter. The newspapers have hit it hard. Facebook is loaded with it. The Edmonton Sun front page this morning was "Rot in Hell" with a picture of Osama Bin Laden on there. I want to share with you something that we call the just war theory. This is a series of 7 principles that are used to determine whether war is justified or not. And then I want to just open up some questions for discussion with you guys amongst your class or whatever. Leave some comments on this video or on the blog. So here it goes. This is my ghetto slideshow, by the way. It's 7:45 in the morning. I wanted to hit this fast, so we're going to do this as quick as we can. First one. Last resort. The war must be a last resort. Everything else must be exhausted. All of our negotiations and diplomatic channels have to be exhausted. Number 2, the war's got to be waged by a legitimate authority. This can't be just you and me going out and settling a score. It's got to be waged by a legitimate authority that's been sanctioned by the current world status. Number 3, it's got to be fought only to right a wrong. This can't be something that goes on and on and on. It needs to have a clear and defined outcome. Number 4, there has to be a reasonable chance of success. If it's going to be something that's impossible without an immense amount of loss of life, the war cannot be justified. Number 5, ultimate goal is to reestablish peace. That's what we're after. We want a world that is peaceful, no longer at war. So if we're going to war, we have to have our ultimate outcome to be peaceful. Number 6, the violence used has to be proportional to the injury that's been suffered. So we can't go and decimate an entire country based on an attack on, say, 6 or 7 individuals in our country. It needs to be proportional. Number 7, the weapons must discriminate between non-combatants and combatants. Obviously, this is referring to weapons of mass destruction. We just can't level an entire city without consequence. So, what does that mean? What does it mean for us? What does it mean for this action? What does it mean for the war on terror in general? Here's some questions. Do you remember 9/11? Happened 10 years ago. A lot of you were 7, 8, 6 years old, maybe even. Do you remember it? Where were you? Number 2, does the news and these events affect the war on terror? Sorry, does this news and the events affect you directly? Does the war on terror affect you directly in any which way? Myself personally, I have friends who have been in special forces, who have been a part of the capture of Saddam Hussein, for example. Friends from our local garrison who have been killed in action or have had friends killed in action. So yeah, it definitely has some personal impact on me. Was the U.S. justified in killing Osama Bin Laden? And what does this mean for the future of the globe? There's some questions to think about. Leave me a comment below. Tell me some things that you're thinking and discuss it amongst yourselves as well. This is my Facebook status this morning. The death of another human being, no matter what their past is never a cause for rejoicing. There are times that we must pick up the sword to protect and preserve, but a true warrior weeps for the death of anybody. I hope that's some food for thought. Welcome to my ghetto slideshow on the side of my truck just before I head up to the high schools. So hash this around, leave some comments below the video if you get to see this on your own, and I look forward to hearing what your discussions have been and what your feedback is. Thanks guys, take care, love y'all.